Toto Wolff, the team boss for Mercedes, has acknowledged that the team's cars were performing better at the most recent Canadian Grand Prix, and is optimistic that this will hold true in the upcoming British Grand Prix. Toto Wolff admits that Mercedes aren't back yet, but he is feeling hopeful about their prospects. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell appeared to be competing with the leads over the final 10 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix, with Hamilton nearly keeping up with the two cars in front. At one point, it appeared as though he would be able to pass Carlos Sainz, but the Briton soon began to lag behind the Ferrari in front. While Wolff acknowledges that things were a little better, he thinks there's still a lot of work to be done to get his drivers in the same ballpark as the leaders. There has been much talk about how Mercedes appeared stronger at the race, but a lot about how the race unfolds has to do with qualifying, so the team gave us an update on their recent qualifying performance, and let's dive into that subject first. Mercedes has provided an explanation on why trying to perform better in qualifying can make them struggle more on race day. The team appeared to be having trouble getting things going for the Canadian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton's W13 placed 4th, while George Russell fell back to P8 after a late gamble on slick tyres that failed in the changing circumstances. While Hamilton securing his first podium since the season-opening race in Bahrain, the event turned out to be a brighter day for the Silver Arrows. Russell came in 4th, not far behind. Technical Director Mike Elliott provided an explanation for why the team's performance in the race appeared to be significantly better than on qualifying day in a race debrief video that was released publicly by the team following Montreal. "I think it's fair to say that you're always trading between qualifying and race performance," Elliott explained. "And if you look at what's important, then generally race performance wins. You can see if you look at some of the cars we're competing against, some of the cars that beat us in qualifying this weekend, you will see that their race pace was poorer. And I think that is just the trade you make, rather than something that there is to underlyingly fix." As a result, Elliott acknowledges that striving to increase qualifying performance has the potential to limit gains on race day. "We know we can probably take steps to improve the qualifying performance, but we'll probably hurt the race performance as a result of that," he added. "And we think we've got our balance roughly in the right place for the car we've got at the moment." Elliott claims that Russell's decision to take a chance on slick tyres in Q3 was his own and not the team's. Mercedes appreciated taking the chance even though it didn't pay off. "To be honest, it was George's call," Elliott continued. "George has been saying all the way through qualifying that the track was going to move progressively towards slicks. And while we thought that was really surprising early on, you could see a dry lie emerging, particularly in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Normally in these situations, it's the driver that you ask, because the driver has got a feel for the car. That was George's opportunity to potentially compete for a pole position. While the risk didn't pay off, it was still a nice thing to do. It's still part of motor racing, and actually we really enjoyed that. So the risk in qualifying didn't pay off, but the team were able to grab up a lot of points on Sunday, mostly due to Perez's DNF and Leclerc's start from the back. Even though the team looked a lot better than previous races, do you think Mercedes will be able to fight at the front if they better their qualifying performances? Let us know in the comments below. Team boss Toto Wolff said the following about the race. "You can see at the hairpin they put in new asphalt, so we suffer less from the stiffness of the car, which is the main problem," Wolff told the media after the race. "But before the safety car came out at the end, we were actually quicker than Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. But you're picking out a few laps and saying, yeah, we're back, but I don't think that's the case here. We just need to keep working." To deal with the porpoising that has dogged them all season, the team marginally upped the ride height of their car, making the W13 a little more manageable in Canada. "We just need to develop the car in a different window that we had," Wolff continued. "We had it really low to the ground, but clearly that doesn't function, so I think we have development direction. We didn't get it right in many areas, but we own the problem. We need to fix it." Mercedes is now hoping that they can run the car lower in the upcoming British Grand Prix in order to be even more competitive, particularly for Hamilton and Russell's home race. Wolff is nonetheless wary of growing overconfident, especially in light of the fact that the team had previously appeared stronger in the Spanish Grand Prix, only to face a more difficult weekend in Monaco 1 week later. "If we're able to run the car low, then we can be competitive," Wolff suggested. "But after Barcelona, we were cheering. We're back in the championship fight. So let's see." With that said, according to Mike Elliott, Mercedes technical director, the new parts they bring to the race at Silverstone will hopefully deliver better speed. The Brit, however, also takes a realistic look to the British Grand Prix and claims that Mercedes is obviously trailing Red Bull Racing and Ferrari in the standings. For Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, a victory at their home race also appears to be challenging. At Silverstone, according to Elliott, the team will strive to move the car forward. Hopefully adding new components will assist with this. Trying to get some pace from the car we've got or the package we've got, as well as the new bits we're going to add to it. The technical leader of the German team acknowledges the need for self-honesty at the same time. At the moment, we're just a little bit behind those front runners in Ferrari and Red Bull Racing, and in a normal race, that's Lewis winning in Silverstone, is going to be tough. As was obvious at the Barcelona race, he anticipates Silverstone to be a circuit that slightly better suited the team. George Russell came in third place overall, while Lewis Hamilton came in sixth during the race in the Spanish city. Although winning at Silverstone doesn't seem likely, the team hopes the new components will help them get close to the front, and they'll do whatever is needed to try and win the race. He concluded, "Whatever happens, we'll push as hard as we can. Our drivers will push as hard as we can. Because we want to get back to winning. We want to win for the team. We definitely want to win. We want to win for the fans. Let's see what happens." Toto Wolff is becoming more and more realistic of their chances for race wins this season. As it seems, it will be tough to make the W13 a race win contender anytime soon. Although Wolff would love to win again, it seems out of reach this year. Since the beginning of the turbo hybrid era in 2014, Mercedes had been involved in the race for the World Championship, but it appears unlikely that they will be this year. Speaking to the media, Toto Wolff disclosed that he is also considering this. The German squad won the global championship between 2014 and 2020. Lewis Hamilton pulled the longest straw no less than 6 times, with Nico Rosberg taking the win only once in 2016. Mercedes was trying to make things right this season after Hamilton lost to Red Bull Racing last year and Max Verstappen won the World Championship. However, Wolff was unable to create a car that his team could compete with, therefore the opposite was true. The team manager now appears to understand that a global championship might be overly ambitious. He stated to the English media that he's also considering a different scenario. "We might have to try and hold on to third place in the championship and see what we can learn," Wolff said. The formation appears worried in the background as well. The setup of the car is currently essential for the rest of the weekend, according to a team engineer. He added that the car's capabilities could not compare to those of Ferrari and Red Bull Racing. Even though Mercedes are able to score good points at times, the engineer said the following to the media behind the scenes. "Our performance at the moment depends only on the setup, but no setup in the world will make this car a Red Bull or a Ferrari," he revealed. It seems like Mercedes are in a tough spot. They are able to outrace the midfield but aren't quite there yet at the front. But with new updates coming for the W13 at Silverstone, they hope to close the gap once more. But they have to keep in mind that the other teams will bring updates as well. We'll see what happens at Silverstone next week. What do you think about Mercedes' chances for next weekend? Will they catch up with the front runners or will the updates come short? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to stay updated with all our content. We can't wait to see what happens next week at Silverstone.